Project management is a structured discipline. So let's take a look at 8 steps to a successful project. Step 1. What is your project all about? The first step in any project is to define clearly what your project is and what it is not. The definition stage is all about setting your goal or your aim, identifying your objectives, and determining your scope. In this stage, you'll also think about things like constraints and assumptions. Step 2. Does your project make sense? At this point, you have to start thinking about whether your project makes good commercial sense. You need to determine the value of the outcomes of your project and compare it with the cost of doing the project and the risks involved. It's also important here to check the alignment between your project on the one hand and your organisation's goals and strategy and values on the other. Step 3. Who will determine your success or failure? This step is all about engaging with your stakeholders. You need to figure out who your stakeholders are and how you're going to engage with each of them. Some of them will be supporters, others will be neutral, and some will be detractors. But remember, the essential point about engaging with stakeholders is whatever their perspective, firstly, you can learn from them, and secondly, in all your dealings with your stakeholders, you must remain respectful. Step 4. How will you deliver your project? This is the step where we put together our plans. You need to identify the tasks or activities that are involved and how long each will take. You also need to determine the logical sequence from one task to the next, and this, together with the timings, will allow you to put together a timeline. It's also important now to start thinking about your resources, the materials, the assets, and the people you're going to need to involve in delivering your project. Putting these together with your timeline will also allow you to calculate your budget. Step 5. Engage your project team. One of the most important aspects of project management is your ability to lead a team. This is where you need to brief and motivate the people who will work with you to deliver the project. Step 6. Shift happens, so prepare for it. This is the step where we start to think about risk and risk management. You need to identify the risks, understand the extent of those risks and how severe they are, and put together plans that will help you to manage those risks actively. And finally, it's absolutely essential with any risk management that you take action on your plans. Step 7. Stay in control during implementation. During the implementation stage of any project is when things happen at a tremendous rate. You need to have a mechanism for staying in control, for monitoring what's going on and making any corrections that you need. It's also at this stage that you'll be thinking about things like reporting and controlling requests for change. Step 8. Close your project in an orderly way. The last stage of any project is to shut it down in an orderly fashion. The delivery stage of your project will end with the handover of the last of the deliverables or products that your project has produced. In the closing stage, you need to make sure that you learn any lessons, document anything that needs documenting, finish the admin, and critically, celebrate the success of your project. I hope you've enjoyed this short video, and if you have, the next step in your learning is to get to grips with some of the jargon of project management. Many people find they feel on the outside of project management because they just simply don't understand that jargon. If you want to feel on the inside, then click on the link and get our free ebook, Decode the Jargon of Project Management.